30. And we'll start off with any citizens' comments. Anybody care to say anything? Help, maybe? If not, hearing that, Jim will have the superintendent's report.
Good evening.
Now you gotta say it all
I
over
will.
again.
It's all right. I've practiced. So earlier this evening, Pownell did, at a duly warned meeting, vote to join the lawsuit challenging Act 46. So on advice of the Agency of Education and our attorney, we're going to cancel next Tuesday's organizational meeting of the new Southwest Vermont Union Elementary School District. That was going to be at 5:30 next Tuesday, the 15th, at the middle school. So in anticipation that Pownell is going to be accepted into the lawsuit, then we will be abiding by what the guidance that AOE gave, that we're to take no action on organizational meetings prior to February 15th. We're supposed to be getting a new timeline from the Agency of Education. I thought I was going to receive it today, but as I left for the meeting tonight, I still did not have it. Timeline as far as like when we can have the organizational meeting and how long we have to wait before we can do the filling of the initial board. So what this hold will do, I was first going to ask you earlier tonight, I was going to ask you if you wanted to join with Bennington to form what's called an amendment committee under the law, to see if you want to change any of the amendments of the default articles of agreement. So Bennington did vote to form it. Any two of the four forming districts, you're referred to in the law as a forming district. So any two of the four forming districts that vote to join that amendment committee, then the amendment committee goes forward. But why I'm not going to ask you to vote whether you want to do that, I mean, you're welcome to if you want. With the delay, I don't see how the committee could work, because the requirement was that any changes in the amendment had to be warned and voted on by the public by February 28th. So I don't see how that happens, since the transitional board that would have the authority to warn that cannot meet until after February 15th. So I think if the state board's plan for merger goes forward, I think those default articles of agreement are in place for at least the first year that the school district would be operating. They can always be amended by citizen petition. That would so that's always on the table. It's never closed. Like any 5% of the citizens of the district could present a petition to the board, and then the board would have no choice but to warn a vote to change the amendments if that's or whatever the amendment the petition called for. So there's still a mechanism for doing it. It's just not going to happen for July 1. The other concern that we have by this delay till after February is the timeline for when this will all take place. Assuming that it is going to continue to go place, I don't want to predict what the outcome of a lawsuit or whether there will be an injunction issued. Currently, there's not an injunction issued. It's an agreement between the lawsuit and the Attorney General for Vermont, and with consulting with AOE, basically a timeout of a month to give sides to review it. Whether the legislature will review it, like I said, I have no idea what's going to happen. But say nothing changes, then after the 15th, we would, again, we would warn for an organizational meeting, which then has a transitional meeting, where the chair and vice chair and clerk of all the four forming boards form the transitional committee. They get sworn in. They can then warn a vote for the permanent members of that committee, which are called the initial committee. They will be elected at large, as opposed to in each committee, as opposed to the clerk and chair just getting appointed to them. So But that has to be 30, less than 30 days, no more than 45 days, so that would put that vote possibly March, early April, and then they would begin work on a budget, which again needs to be warned for a vote, and that vote wouldn't happen probably till late April at the earliest, early May at the latest. So that's the issue I see with the delay is us, one, not being able to get the members of the initial board voted on and in place so that they can work on a budget and get it warned and voted on by the public. But it does seem that all districts should understand a couple things. One, you need to replace your members whose terms are expiring this March. People need to run for those seats because this board has work to do right up until the end of June, and maybe longer, depending on what happens. The other thing is there'll be, by my count, at least 3 times that the public is going to have to come out and vote. Once in March at town meeting, vote on the MAU budget. Again, guessing when, end of March, early April, to vote on who the members of the new, and it would be 2 from Shaftesbury, who the 2 new members from Shaftesbury into the new Southwest Vermont Union Elementary School District would be. And then once they're together, their work would be to finish the budget and warn it for vote by the public sometime late April, early May. So stay tuned. We'll keep updated, but once I get a clear picture from AOE, and you'll know as soon as I do whether the legislature will touch this or not. Because it'll be interesting. And that's pretty much what we have been working on. That's kind of a report. Any questions I can answer for you?
Can you?
Keep smiling.
Oh, yes. Okay, thanks, Jim.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll have our financial reports, treasurer's reports, and you got a revised, that was the Nature's Classroom addition to the receipts. And December's treasurer's report. Need a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that takes care of the treasurer's reports. Budget status report. I guess we heard enough about budgets earlier.
Hey, now.
Oh, sorry about that, Renee. And- Okay. Let's go to the consent agenda, which includes everything much in that. There it is. Anybody want to make a motion to accept the consent agenda that we have in front of us?
I make a motion to accept.
Thank you.
Second.
Second. Any other questions? All those in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent agenda is taken care of. Policies. Policies. That's taken care of, that includes that.
I don't see any.
Yeah, that's the first
I
one.
got one sheet of policies here somewhere.
Proficiency-based graduation requirements.
There it is.
We didn't have a policy meeting this month. Got canceled. But
Okay.
um,
Basically, it's just to warn the,
it's just warning this one.
was just warning this one for proficiency-based graduation requirements. So we'll warn that. Anybody have any questions on voting that? Okay.
Did a motion.
Oh, we need a motion to warn.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
a motion to warn.
Second.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Facilities. We have a
Personnel.
bag from our Shasberry mechanical and kitchen upgrade proposal. We have a John Penny proposal here.
Personnel.
Personnel.
Personnel first.
Personnel, and passed that one. I checked it off. Sorry about that. New board member position. Since Jeff Leak resigned, we have a space that we may want to fill. The seat is up for grabs come the 1st of March anyways. So that seat, Jeff's seat was, and it's still open.
Yep.
So we can either appoint somebody until that election, or wait till the election. My only question there is, since we have, Dave won't be here till then because he's up in Montpelier now. I don't wanna have a meeting that doesn't have a quorum.
Mhm.
So if something happens is one of us
Yep.
can't make it, we'd have to cancel the meeting.
It makes sense to appoint somebody if there's anybody interested.
Do we make a motion to do that? Do we have to vote on that?
Jeff's,
I think you just have to ask if anybody, we put a posting out to anybody that is interested to bring a letter of interest to this meeting.
yeah,
So I think you just have to ask if anybody's interested, and if they want to submit a letter of interest, and then you guys can vote to appoint that person or anyone else.
We ended up on the website for you, saying that the opening, anybody interested, do it then.
yeah. Okay, so we have to say, is there anybody present who would like to present a letter to be a new board member here at Shasberry Elementary School? John, would you like to make a statement?
My name's John Delano. I'm a resident and a parent of a student at Shasberry, and I'd just like to show my support to my daughter and my school and my community and fill this position.
Thank you.
Here's my letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for applying, John. What is the board's pleasure? Now, to appoint somebody, we have a letter, and now we can either accept the letter and accept him in, or open it up for more. Is that what the?
That's the
thing is?
action.
Yeah, okay,
So I'd make a motion to accept the letter
okay.
and
Did you-
welcome John to the board.
Is there anyone else present that came forward?
We have, this is the only letter that we
Right.
have.
Right.
So I would just
Yeah,
state that for the
absolutely.
record, that
Yeah.
no one else has
No
come
one else.
forward.
Being that nobody else has come forward, I'd make a motion to accept the letter and welcome John to the board.
I second that.
Okay, I guess that's all discussion we need. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome.
Welcome. John?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
He does need to be sworn in, he's gotta take his oath.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Now you'll have to go over to see Marlene at the town clerk
Okay.
before you can,
Join.
join the board.
All right.
So
There's an oath.
tomorrow-
Okay.
But other than that, you'll be, just gotta pledge. Thank you, John.
There's a fee too, did they tell you that?
Just keeps getting better.
Wait, we just voted them in, don't send them out.
Okay. Now I can go to facilities.
Ed, I just wanted to share this too. This came in from John Penny this morning, so it's just an update as to where he is with things.
Oh. I'll just keep passing it right around to John too.
Did you get one, Richard?
Yep. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
Okay, so I guess they're, John is ready to send his things out in mid-February. I guess what we should do is accept John's plan so he can move forward.
I make a motion to accept John's plan.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that
Okay.
the proposal for the next?
That's the proposal that you're accepting.
The proposal,
Sorry.
yes.
Yep.
And just so he did confirm that we can assemble both phases of the project, so it'll be a single bid package.
Great.
So
Okay.
he was just waiting to hear if the board was gonna accept his
Yep.
proposal, but he can do that.
Yep.
Did they take his own thermostats and stuff?
So that's, we're all set with John then?
Yep,
So it's still
I'll
not
have you
done.
sign the
Yep.
proposal.
But everything's in place, just wait for the thermals to come, to plug them in and get them going.
Okay. Jeff,
Yes.
you got a report?
Yes. So we are, Shasbury's in the middle of our winter benchmarking session. So this month is pretty much we're doing our writing benchmarks for our students, as well as FastBridge for our K2 and reading and math, and our MAP and reading and math for 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll have that data by the end of the month. And actually we'll spend half a day in February looking at that data as classrooms and grade levels and doing deciding our interventions from there. We're also, the school leadership team is also charged with looking at our school improvement plan and doing phase 2. So if you remember last year, phase 1 was basically identifying goals in our several areas, getting some action steps in those areas. Phase 2 consists of picking out some of the impact action steps that we want to track throughout the year and see how well they're impacting students and their achievement. So the school leadership team will be doing that later this month, actually next week, identifying those, and then we'll be putting a tracking system in place to kind of look at those action steps and how effective they are as we move forward. And I'm excited to say that Monday is our first pre-K visit for the new year. These guys probably know that their daughters went through that, and their son.
Yeah.
So basically, what we do here at Shasbury for pre-K transition is we have, I think it's 5 Monday mornings. The students will come in, they'll get to meet the PE teacher, the music teacher, the library teacher, and their kindergarten teachers as well for next year, and the staff that works with them. And they spend the morning here on Monday, and they just have a good old time. Just getting used to the school before they start here in the fall, which we've had some positive feedback from both kiddos and parents. Makes the transition that much easier come fall.
You have to look forward to it.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's always a good time to meet the kids before they come in the fall and put a face to names that I see on a list all school year. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's all I have at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And I really don't have anything, I just want to, we got a little confusion, not confusion, but different way we're going with this combination that we're going into, so look forward to going forward with a transition to the transitional board or whatever. And just want to thank the school for, Jim's office, the SVSU for getting us along the road. SVSU, you got anything else you want to say, Jim?
No, but you got a good point, Ed, to thank everybody. A lot of work went into planning Tuesday's meeting. Renee's office, the town clerks, everything was in place. A lot of my office, my administrative assistant, our public information coordinator, a lot of work put in by them to get ready for the 15th, but you know, we understand the process. So I think there was some disappointment because we thought we were finally moving forward, but we'll continue to work the issue. So, but
No.
a thank you to everybody who put a lot of effort in to get that ready.
What do you think, just so everybody knows, what do you think the timeline is now for the next meeting? Again.
What I don't know is whether I can, so no meeting can happen before February 15th, but I need clarity from the AOE, and I'm still waiting to hear back, is can I go ahead and warn a meeting after February 15th? So like, do I have to wait till then before I can warn it, which means the 30-day clock doesn't start counting to then? Or can I go ahead and warn a meeting now for after the 15th?
Yeah.
So I can get the 30-day clock
Start.
counting? So I do think the second scenario is the case, that I just can't have the meeting before it. So, and we probably would stay away from February vacation week because of people's vacation not being available. So that last week of February would be the earliest that we would do the organizational meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else got anything else? Next meeting is scheduled here is February 14th. That sounds like Valentine's Day.
It is.
I can't wait to spend my Valentine's Day with you guys.
I like you guys, but
No chocolates?
Are you bringing candy?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I got enough candy.
So,
to go.
I just need signatures.
I don't believe you held a February meeting last year, just to let you know I did look, because if your budget work is done, a lot of the boards don't meet in February. I know. So, you got a new board member. So you did not meet last February. I did look before, because your budget work is done, and you're waiting until the March elections, so, but
We
you,
have that construction.
yeah, if you got that, so then you could do a one-item meeting, yeah. One,
One.
yeah, it would be a brief.
Another one
Everybody
of our,
could, everybody could still make home to give chocolates and flowers and dinner,
Yeah.
so.
I have one question to ask. I notice, and I don't know if we deal with this or that goes to you, Jim, but you know, I'm here a lot for pickup at the end of the day at school, and I believe we have 2 buses that run. 3 buses that run to this school, and I don't know if I'm the only one that sees this, but I can't imagine that those 3 buses are pretty full. So my question is, and I'm just throwing it out there, and I don't even know if it's a possibility, but, and I don't even know if it would save cost, money, whatever, but there's quite a few parents that pick up and drop off every day. I see that, you know, and is there a possibility or a way that maybe we could go down to 2 buses or even just 1 bus instead of having 3 run? I mean, they look pretty empty sometimes, those buses, and I don't want to penalize someone who needs to have a bus. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but is there a way that we could possibly?
I definitely think we could look at it. First thing I could do, I could ask Jeff to start doing a daily bus count for a little while. And then, and Renee does look at those things, because I
Yeah.
know that we changed it in another school this year. The issue isn't always how many people are running the bus, it's how long the bus run will be. If, like, say we went down to 2 buses, how long the kids will be on. So we'd have to look at that and see if that's impact. We certainly don't want.
And I definitely want it to make sense. I don't want to do something that's gonna be.
And
Okay.
Renee, we have an average cost per bus. What is like one bus? Do you have that? Not to put you on the
Put me
spot.
on the spot.
I want to say like 60,000. Is that no?
Our base contract, I think, is for 16, and it's just under $1 million.
Yeah.
So
So,
just,
but we don't have it broken down by per bus or no. So, all right, then scratch that number it gave you. But I had thought when we were adding a bus before that was what the cost would be. But
Yeah, because it's a daily.
And
right,
maybe
daily cost.
And
yeah.
because of the demographics, you know, and where everybody go, maybe it can't happen. I just thought I'd throw it out there that.
so a little history. It was looked at several years ago.
Was it?
And we had a board member at the time that felt the same way. And I will say the during drop off we do have one bus that's significantly lighter than the other two. During pickup at the afternoon, if after school program's running, the numbers are lower.
Wow, yeah.
But when
Yeah.
they're not running, the buses they're not full, but there's
Is there?
there's
Okay.
about 20 kids in
Okay.
each bus at
Oh,
least.
yeah.
But that's only when they're not
Yeah.
running. But I think when it was looked at several years ago, it was more about what Jim's saying is like Shasbury's huge,
Yeah.
the rural roads and getting out to the hollow and getting
Yeah,
back. To,
and I don't
Yeah.
want I don't want
Yep.
kids on the bus for 2 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't make
Yep.
any sense either.
Yep.
I didn't know if it had been looked at ever, or
Yeah.
you know, at this point, if we could. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I was just throwing it out.
I think I want to say the same question was asked at BSD last week too. The same, and it's the days that the after school programs are running, the buses look very empty.
Oh,
The
right,
morning's
yeah.
a different story.
Sure. That's it.
But I see Renee making a note there. So
I just gave you more work. I'm sorry.
Can change your spreadsheet now.
Well, she just took me
No,
off.
she just wrote your name down.
She just took me off. I know, Tony.
see, we're
Okay.
still meeting on Wednesday nights. That question when I got asked.
Oh. That's what she just wrote in there. Who decided to go to win?
Okay. You have a motion to adjourn? If
Motion to
anybody got
adjourn.
anything else?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are done.